everybody, this is the Grizzly but Lovable Bear, and along with Ben Cowan, we are back. And Ben, it's homecoming here at the Belfast Area High School, and all the flavor and celebration of homecoming is abuzz, and we got ourselves one whale of a football game.
Well, I mean, Brewer comes in here ranked #1 in Eastern Maine Class B. A lot of people are saying after Belfast lost, they're the best team in Class B, so tonight is their chance to prove it, and Belfast, they need to come out with something to prove of their own.
You know, they say after you lose 20-something ball players, how can you do so well that as Brewer has done? Well, I'll tell you, the kids they've got back this year, Ben, they are athletes. They are true athletes. You've got their quarterback in Ricky Porter. You've got Zach Wilson and Kevin McAvoy. I call them the big three. Hey, they possess a big line as well, but these are the kids that not only can pass the ball, they can catch it as well.
Well, I think something else that helps that is Brewer has a system in place, and when you've got a system in place that works, kids can step into that system, and they already know it. They've been in it 3 or 4 years already, and when they get that chance, they're ready to go. And those three, I mean, it's going to be tough for Belfast. We saw last week they had a tough time containing Rosted and Bradburn for York, and it's going to be a big test early in this ballgame to see if they can contain those three for Brewer.
Geez, you know, when you get a runner that gets over 300 yards in a ball game, true, it's been against Old Town and Hamden, but hey, still, you've got to put the ball in his hands, and he's got to run with it. Hey, this McAvoy and Ricky Porter, they are outstanding, and I think Matt Littlefield's been a surprise.
Well, he has, and I mean, this whole Brewer team, they're loaded with weapons offensively, and the test for Belfast is going to be up front. Can they stop that run up the middle that we've seen from York, we've seen it from Levitt, and we've seen it from Hamden? They got away with 2 of those wins last week. They really got exposed defensively, and they've got to clamp down defensively against the run.
I know since you played, the home field advantage, I think, does make a difference, as Belfast is back in the friendly confines of Belfast Stadium here. What do you think, Ben? Belfast are playing in front of their home crowd, good for maybe 6, 12 points?
Well, I would think so. I mean, we saw a team last week that came out. They came off a 3-hour bus ride, came out into the field. They scored in their first possession, and from there, we saw no enthusiasm whatsoever, and they were facing a team in York that they really treated like a state championship game. They were jumping up and down on every play, and I think the score is really indicative of that. And so this week, it's homecoming. They should come out. They should be intense, and that's what they have to have against this tough Brewer team.
Well, I tell you what we did. Again, Ned Leitner went on special assignment for us because Ben and I were just lazy and laid back. So what Ned did is he had a chance to talk with co-head coach Butch Richards about what we can expect from Belfast tonight.
Well, Coach, all I can think is that it must have been a long bus ride home last week.
Well, it was long in the fact that it was 3 hours, but it was also we had some time to reflect on the game and talk not only as coaches but the players as well. And we went down there, and the score isn't really indicative of how the game was. We didn't punt, for example, the whole game, even though we only scored 6 points. So we did some things very well. York is a very good football team, but we also knew that we had some things that we had to focus on this week to improve, and that's what we've been doing.
Would you care to tell us what you did this week?
Well, there were some things technique-wise. We've said right from the get-go that our goal is to get better game to game, week to week, and you know, and it's another step forward. We have to make sure that we take care of assignments and technique-wise just get better. And it has been easy to motivate the guys this week because of what happened last Saturday night.
Well, we all know that Brewer is not an easy team to go up against. Tell us a little bit about what you think Brewer's going to give you.
Well, Brewer obviously is playing some good football. They're top of the league right now record-wise, and we've had some great games with them over the last few years, both regular season and playoff. And well-coached football team that does some different things. That offensively, they're going to run some option and try to spread us out a little bit. They're very quick. I don't think they'll throw the ball a whole lot. But they're extremely fast around the corners, and so we have to work on shutting that down. The option is our #1 concern. Offensively for us, we just need to make sure we recognize where they are defensively. They play a lot of variations of the 4, which is a 6-man look up front, and we just need to make sure that everybody's accounted for.
Now, I know there were some injuries last game. How's everybody this week?
Well, it was a very physical game. We had not only a fairly serious injury happen with Brendan.
How is he?
He's fine. He's out of the hospital and he's back home. Obviously, because of the degree of the injury, he's not going to be able to play any football with us. But we're going to miss him because Brendan is such nothing to do with football. Brendan is a great young man and someone that you want to have around. And it was a physical game, so we went from Brendan's injury through a lot of nicks and sprains and black and blues, things that happen in a physical football game.
Right. Well, good luck, and I hope everyone stays healthy during this game.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Thanks,
right,
Ned. Appreciate it.
Okay, we are back. Ned, once again, outstanding report. Thank you very much. And Ben, final thoughts as we get ready for this homecoming 2004 to unfold.
I think the key to this ball game is going to be the first 2 or 3 possessions for each team. Which team comes out, takes control of this ball game? Can the Belfast defense stop the Brewer running game? Can the Brewer team contain Allison Horn? Last week, Horn had 9 carries. York was able to hold him to 44 yards. I mean, can Belfast pop that big play and gather that momentum and keep it for the whole game? I think those are your keys to the game, and watch for them early on.
Okay, a couple of things come to mind. Dan Johnson has a broken thumb. Is he going to be able to play? He's going to be in there. I saw him before the game. He said, "Hey, Bear, I'm in the game. Nothing's going to keep me out of this ball game." So Dan Johnson will play. The linebacking, is it going to be as good as it's been in the past? I think so. We've got Caldwell. He's learned well this week, had a good week of practice. So I think Belfast is ready. And Butch Richards worked on blocking schemes. Hey, he said, when you need help, say so. Call for help. So I think the Lions are ready.
I think so too, and I mean, I think what that game last week did for them, I think that was probably one of the best things that could have happened to this football team, because what it gave them is it gave them something to prove. I mean, I know this coaching staff, they don't put a lot of stock in the polls that the newspapers and the TV put out, but I mean, previous to that York game, Bell was ranked number 1 in Class B, and they were ranked number 6 in the state. They dropped completely out of both of those polls, and I mean, the players, I know they keep track of those things, and they're going to come out and they're going to have something to prove, and they're going to be able to carry that the rest of this year.
All right, Ben, we are all set for tonight's football game between the visiting Brewer Witches and our own Belfast Lions. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after these messages.
From traditional to trendy, classic to quaint, and everything in between, McLeod's offers a wide range of quality furniture and a full line of appliances, bedding, and flooring. Everything you need under one roof. McLeod Furniture, where you receive service after the sale. The Benjamin family, owners of the Belfast Variety, the Morrill General Store, and the Belfast Variety Route 52, are pleased to support coverage of the Belfast Lions. United Auto is a family-owned business offering select pre-owned autos, trucks, sport utility, and luxury vehicles, both domestic and imported. Every vehicle is fully serviced, computer scanned, and reconditioned prior to sale. United Auto, Route 1 South, Belfast, serving satisfied customers for over 35 years.
Once again, good evening, everybody. This is the grizzly but lovable Bear. Ned Leitner up taking the pictures tonight, and Ben Cowan. Ben, how's it look in the LTC for the Belfast Lions?
Well, I believe it was last year, the year before, they changed to the PTC, the Pine Tree Conference now. But, well, rushing-wise, you know, all this, as expected, he leads the way. He's got almost 745 yards rushing. For Brewer, though, they've got Zach Porter. He's up there. He's got 367 yards on a third of the carries that Aldis had. So, I mean, he's right there in terms of average yards per carry. He's ahead of Josh Aldis. So that's something to watch for here. And Brewer's also they also have McAvoy and Wilson are both in the top 7 in rushing. Garen Horn is 5th on the list. He's at 344 rushing yards on 34 carries. Passing-wise, Andy Whalen, after a big passing week last week against York when they were forced to pass almost the whole fourth quarter, he's 22 of 41 for 267 yards, leading the way. And for Brewer Porter, he's got 136 yards on 8 of 14 passing. All 136 yards of that is going to Francis for Brewer. He's caught 6 passes for those 136 yards. So that's the big play combo for them in terms of a quick hitter, and that's something you want to watch for tonight. We saw last week the Belfast secondary got burnt one time deep by York, and in weeks past we've seen it. So watch for Francis going deep on a play or two at the beginning of this half just to test them out a little bit. Aldis for Belfast is 4th on that list with 87 yards receiving on 7 catches. Points-wise, Josh Aldis is way ahead of the pack. He's got 70 points on 10 touchdowns and 5 PATs. Porter for Brewer again is right behind him, so you can see these two are 1-2 throughout the league in almost every category. He's got 48 points on 8 touchdowns and no PATs. Tackling-wise, Lee, sorry. He's second in the league with 44 tackles behind a good Oak Hill player we saw earlier in the year in Janelle. He's got 49 tackles, so a big night tonight from Travis Lee could put him, that's what they need against this rushing Brewer team. A big night would put him back on top of those tackling statistics. And we've got 5 other people in Huey Morris, Josh Gallant, Josh Aldis, Craig Holm, and Garen Horn in that top, 15, 20 guys tackling-wise in the league.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Ben. As we are just about ready for the opening kickoff, as the Lions will boot the ball away to the Brewer Witches. Back to receive the kick is number 21, Kevin McAvoy. Also back there for Brewer, Ricky Porter. And Ricky will do the quarterbacking tonight for the Witches, and he is a good one. Right down in front of us, the Belfast Area High School band, and here we go. As you can tell, as it comes back to McAvoy. McAvoy's going to keep it right up the middle on the old middle wedge. He'll bring it close to the 40-yard line, and that's going to do it. 1st and 10 for the Brewer Witches.
One thing the Belfast was not able to do last week in York, they were not able to force one turnover against that York football team, so I think it's important for them to put pressure on that ball, force a couple fumbles, even if they don't get them, just get that ball loose on the ground, and maybe you can grab 1 or 2, and that'll give you the momentum right there.
Okay, Ricky Porter will do the quarterbacking out of the wishbone formation. Signals being called by Porter, 1st and 10. Ball just shy of the 40 as the handoff goes to number 5, and that will be Zach Wilson. Just one more of those backs in the... I hope we can move that horn as it's blocking my view here. Here we go, as there was a pickup of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 to go for the Brewer Witches. Got all kinds of people in the way tonight, don't we, Ben? Here we go.
That'll be an excuse in case we miss a play.
There we go. Ricky Porter calls signals out of that wishbone formation, split wide to the right side. And we've got some premature movement in there. In the backfield, we've got Wilson along with number 21 for the Brewer Witches, that being McAvoy. So going to the sidelines will be Peasley, as it looks like he and teammate will alternate the plays in for the Brewer Witches. Play goes against Brewer, some premature movement, so give him now a 2nd, and we're going to call it 13. As the ball is spotted on the 35-yard line of the Witches. Split wide to the right side, in tight over on the left, wishbone formation. As Porter calls signals, he's going to immediately roll out, and he's being chased by Holm. Holm misses a tackle. 2 tackles missed. The stop made by Travis Lee, but not before Ricky Porter able to pick up a good 10 yards on the play. Nice bit of running right there by Porter.
It was, but I'll tell you what happened was he ran through 2 arm tackles by Belfast. Both guys tried to arm tackle and bring him down. That's just not going to happen when a guy's going full speed like that. And Travis Lee came over and he made the play. But Belfast has they've got to put a body on someone. They can't tackle with their arms.
Belfast comes out in that familiar 4-4 defense. Here we go, Brewer now. Single setback, double wing, split wide to the right side. Porter calls signals for the Witches.
Watch a counter on this play.
As the handoff immediately goes to the big fullback, he picks up enough for the 1st and 10. Matt Littlefield. Matt Littlefield brings it into Belfast territory. The spot on the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Brewer Witches. Bushard comes out of the Belfast lineup. Hopkins goes in. Oh, Bushard still remains in there.
Belfast is going to switch to, it looks almost like a 5, I think. 5-3.
I think they've gone into the Mad Dog.
Yep.
Here we go, single setback, that being Littlefield, double wing formation. In motion goes Wilson. We've got a fumble on the play being kicked around all over the field. It looks like Belfast may have retained possession.
And there it is, a big turnover early in the ball game for Belfast, something they were not able to do last week. And let's see if they can take this momentum and go down and score. Big play for Belfast.
Sometimes you make your own breaks, some good hitting in there, hard hitting by the interior of that defense there. Nice job for Belfast. Here we go, the Lions 1st and 10.
Last week we saw Belfast come out in that 2-minute offense. It really took off. They used the option well. Let's see what they come out in this week.
Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Lions at their own 45-yard line. They come out short I formation, split wide to the right side. Andy Whalen in at quarterback, wearing his own jersey this week, wearing a number 2. In motion goes Littlefield. Pitch goes back to Allers. Allers following his blocking, able to break a tackle. Gets about 4 yards, and that's it. As the stop made in there by big number 78, Ecker.
Belfast is lucky they didn't have a block in the back that time by Justin Bernoski as the Brewer player. It looked like almost like Bernoski tripped and was pushed right into the back of the Brewer player, and luckily the ref, I think, realized that he'd been pushed. It wasn't a block.
Boy, the Belfast Area High School band out in numbers tonight, right down in front of us, providing some of that old homecoming flavor. Good to see him here tonight. Short I formation, split wide to the right side, in tight on the left. Whalen calls signals for Belfast. Brewer comes out in that 6-man front, delayed handoff to Alders. He dupes, he jives, gets maybe 3, and that's just about it, as he's met by another one of those big linebackers for the Brewer Witches. And that time in there making the stop was Ben Caldwell. Caldwell for Brewer, a junior, 6'1", 203 pounds. Ben was saying before the game that really precise on the programs, like 163, no estimates,
Yeah.
right to the number there.
Man, I'm looking for decimal points over there next year.
Caldwell on the stop. Here we go, 3rd down, 4 to go for Belfast. Got to get some blocking from that middle. As they come out, they'll switch from that strange formation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They go 6. We're going to call it a 6-2 right now for Brewer.
It's important Belfast gets a 1st down after that fumble and is not forced into a 3-and-out situation.
Travis Lee in motion. They go absolutely nowhere. As a stop made in there by number 54 for the Witches. And that's Sylvian. So Brewer with a good stop in Belfast's backfield. So give them 4th and 6.
Great job by the Brewer defense that time. They got penetration right up the hole. I don't know if it was a missed block or just a missed assignment, but whatever it was, Brewer was able to get penetration right where Guerin was going, and they almost had the handoff that time.
7:45 left to go here in the 1st quarter as Jeff Fry's hustling out of that Belfast lineup, as I believe Travis Lee back to punt for the blue and gold. Homecoming night here in Belfast. As the kick is off, nice spiraling kick, comes back to the Brewer Witches, Ricky Porter, as Porter is going to be chased down by a host of Belfast tacklers.
Great coverage that time by Belfast. Guerin Horn forced him to the outside. He had help from, I believe it was Nate Littlefield that time, and then the rest of Belfast gang got there. Great coverage on the special teams.
Might as well keep it in the family, as Nate and Guerin are cousins, as John Walsh also in on the stop for Belfast. So Brewer now 1st and 10. They'll spot the ball right around that 15-yard line. 7:23 left to go here in the 1st quarter.
You know, another key to this ball game, speaking of special teams, I think will be the special teams for Brewer, is you've got Horn and Aldis on any kickoffs or punts that you've got. You cannot allow them to break free on one of those and go for a touchdown or a long run, so it's going to be very important that they're able to contain their special teams.
Porter calling signals as the handoff goes to number 5 this time, Wilson, as Zach able to break a tackle, an arm tackle, and get enough for the 1st and 10. Shy of the 30, they'll spot it right around that 27-yard line, but it's enough for another Brewer, 1st and 10. 7:14 left to go here in the 1st quarter. There is no score.
You know, I think what Belfast needs right here, I think they need a big hit. They need something just to get this defense going, give them some confidence. They've been beat up the last couple weeks. They really need some kind of confidence builder here.
Looks like Belfast continuing to play that Mad Dog defense, that 6-man front with the 3 backers. As the handoff, and he's on the run. Handoff goes to number 38. He's got 1 man to beat, and that's Horn. And he was gone, but Guerin Horn runs him down. Nice piece of running right there by Matt Littlefield. You Keon Wilson, you Keon Richter, then all of a sudden, Littlefield's on the move.
I'll tell you, I mean, they just have so many weapons that you can't key on one person. You just have to play honestly. All your assignments have to be honest, and you can't just key on, you can't key on a Josh Hollis and a Garen Horn because there's 3 of them back there.
Looked like that could have been a short trap. Nice execution that time by the Witches. As they've got some tight splits in there. As Littlefield, the lone setback as we go to the double wing. As Ricky Porter on that slant pass, down to the 5, he's in, touchdown! Touchdown, Brewer Witches to Drew Francis. Francis immediately right off the ball, just slanted in and bang!
A beautiful, beautiful play, and I mean, that's a big build-up for Brewer. Francis was the guy that you really had to watch receiving-wise, the only guy that has any yards for Brewer receiving. He's their big play guy when they need it, something like that. Just a sneaky little play, hit him with the quick slant, and let him go right up the seam with it.
So here we go into Temp. The conversion is Kevin McAvoy. Snap comes back, kick is up, and it's blocked in there by a Belfast Lion.
I think Travis Lee.
That kid is everywhere.
He really is, and I mean, these last couple of weeks, that defense, he's been their identity. You saw him in the first play of the ball game, came over, 2 missed tackles, he came over, he got the job done. He's everywhere, he's their linebacker. He's got to get the rest of his team involved in there.
6:26 left to go here in the first quarter. As both teams come back upfield to score. The Brewer Witches 6, the Belfast Lions nothing. We'll take this break. We'll be back with more high school football. You're watching Belfast football on Educational Channel 5.
Eastside Garage, from towing to repairs and from front-end alignments to air conditioning. Eastside Garage is a full-service garage with ASE certified mechanics and AAA towing. Eastside Garage, serving the Belfast area for over 30 years. Belfast is a home of Coburn Shoe Store, the oldest shoe store in America. This family-run store offers its customers excellent pricing as well as personal-friendly service. They carry such respected lines as Nike, Hush Puppies, Birkenstock, and Red Wing work boots. And there's a bargain basement for added savings. Coburn Shoe Store, 79 Main Street in Belfast.
Okay, back here at the Belfast Area High School, getting a nice end-over-end kick. It comes down to Garen Horn at the 20-yard line, up to the 25, diving forward to the 26, and that's where Belfast will open up 1st and 10.
Nice tackle with that time by Brewers number 17, Ben Caldwell. As you know, Garen gets that extra block in there, breaks that tackle. He's got a lot of room to run, so a great job by Caldwell.
So let's see what the Lions can put together. 6:20 left to go in the first quarter. Brewer takes a quick 6-0 lead.
It's important for Belfast to respond here. I mean, right now they're sitting on 39 straight unanswered points, dating back to last week as York reeled off 33 unanswered. So they really need some kind of offensive score here.
As Belfast flexed out to the right side, short I formation. Handoff goes to Horn, 1 man to beat, and he's gone, and he's taken down from behind, right at the 50-yard line. Taken down from behind by number 5, Zach Wilson, saving a Belfast touchdown for sure.
But that's what the Belfast offense needs, something they didn't get last week. You know, they got Garen the carries, but York was able to contain him and not let him break loose, and that right there just might give this Belfast offense the lift they need.
Okay, let's go. Belfast goes to Andy Whalen. He'll keep it on that quarterback keeper. Gets maybe a yard, and that's it. As looks like he got back to the original line of scrimmage. So we're going to call it 2nd, and we'll call it a long 9. As Whalen trying to catch that defense off guard a little bit. Brewer does that strange thing. They'll come out lined up, and when the offense comes out, they jump into their defensive alignment.
It does what it is. It doesn't allow the quarterback to read the defense. He gets his initial read as he's walking out of the huddle. He sees them standing there, but then once they get set and they start moving around, you've got to adjust your read.
Handoff goes to 85, Littlefield on that reverse back from right to left. Littlefield gets it to the Brewer 45. So a pickup of 5 on the play. I can't understand why that one chain was moving, but
that's what
oh, gee, I forgot myself. I'm sorry. 3rd down. We're going to call it 4. 5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Big third down play for the Lions. As Lehman split wide to the left side. Short I formation. In tight on the left and right. As Whalen now fake once, fake twice. Out into the flat it goes to Horn. Turns upfield. As he turns, drilled out of bounds by Brewer's number 30. That, of course, being Ricky Porter. And it's enough for the Belfast 1st and 10. So they're looking a lot better. They're driving the ball.
They are. That was a great play call that time by Coach Richards. He was able to, it was a real simple pass play, a rollout for Andy. He was able to get out of the pocket, see the field, and Guerin was just right. He knew where the first down marker was. He got just beyond it, and it was an easy completion. A great call that time. Great execution as well.
So Littlefield, wing on the left side, short I formation. As Whalen calls signals, handoff to the second man being Alders. He blasts ahead, but he's met right there, right in the hole by Sylvian. Captain senior, 5'10", 178-pounder. I remember him from last year. He just causes all kinds of fits in there for Belfast.
He does. He's one of those guys, seems like Brewer has one every year. He's one of those guys, he gets in the backfield, he fills those holes, and he makes big plays for the defense.
6-0, Brewer with an early lead, 4:13 left to go in the first quarter. Wing to the left side, short I formation. Brewer remains in that 6-man front. Fake to the first man, second man on the quarterback. Keeper goes Whalen, gets maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. And Drew Francis, good reaction from the Brewer Witches.
It was. Lehman had the block. He had Francis sealed on that outside, and Francis was able to release from that block and make the play on Whalen. It was a great job that time defensively.
As Sylvian waits to get the defensive signals from his bench. As Nick Thoman leads out the Lions. Littlefield split wide to the right side. Brewer doing very well, not letting Alders get that second and third step.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, I think they're keen on him tonight. That's why you saw Guerin, he broke that big run earlier, but they want to make sure Alders does not beat them.
Littlefield in motion, and down is Whalen at the 45. Big number 78 in there, Jamie Ecker, along with Ben Caldwell. The two to put the horns on Whalen. Belfast now faced with a fourth, and we're going to call it 16, so the punting team comes out for Belfast.
Looks like Belfast was attempting a screen pass that time, and Andy ran out of room to drop back that time.
Maybe letting their blocks through a little too early. That thing's going to be timed just right, as Belfast will punt it away. And it looks like it's going to be number 84 for Belfast as the punt is blocked. Greg Holm, and Brewer falls on the loose ball at the Belfast 40-yard line. So making their own break this time, the Brewer Witches. They'll open up 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
There was a new punter that time in for Belfast. I think it was Craig Holm. I'm not sure why Travis Lee wasn't in there. He punted the first time. I'm not sure the reason for the change, but mishandled snap, blocked punt. Big play for Brewer.
Tonight, the game brought to you by the Camden National Bank in the downtown shopping plaza in Belfast. To all the fine folks at the Camden National Bank, thank you very much for your support. Ricky Porter calling signals for the Brewer Witches. As Porter immediately goes back to pass under a heavy rush, able to get away from that. Gets the pass out into the flat, knocked away by Belfast. It's intercepted. It's intercepted, and now they blow it dead. I can't understand why.
Wow. I think it was an inadvertent whistle by the referee that time. Wow.
This, I cannot understand why. The play never hit the ground, never hit anybody. It was
not near the out of bounds. Wow.
That's right. So the play should have continued. Here we go. What did I tell you before the game? And I'll tell you, Coach Richards and Arthurs are not happy with this call.
I still don't know what they called. They're replaying the down.
I cannot understand this.
Wow.
And Coach Richards is just excitedly angry, and I think deservedly so.
That's unbelievable. Absolutely, that's inexcusable is what that is.
So here we go, wishbone formation, split wide to the right side. Brewer retains possession. I cannot believe this. they get a break here as the handoff goes to number 21 for the Brewer Witches, Kevin McAvoy. McAvoy pickup of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 for
Going
Brewer.
back to that interception play, it was a great play that time by Lehman. He got up into the air, he made the tip just like they practice all week long, or defensively anyway. The defensive backs just knock that ball up into the air and let one of your other guys run into there and get it. Josh Gallant was right there to pick it off.
2nd down for a Brewer out of that wishbone formation. Split wide to the right side. As Ricky Porter calling signals for Brewer. Fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it on the rollout as he's able to beat Hugh Morse around the end. You cannot let him get to that outside, and Porter continues to fly, gets it down to the 20-yard line. Once you get around the outside shoulder of that defender, hey, it's free grazing out there.
It really is. There's a lot of open field, and that time he made just a little stutter step on Huey Morris, and he let up for a second, and then he was gone already. You can't let up. You've got to keep going right at him.
And quickly the Brewer Witches out of that huddle. They waste no time at all as a split out wide to the right side, Mitch Peasley. Double wing formation, Littlefield, the lone setback. As Ricky Porter calls signals, and he hands off again to guess who? Matt Littlefield breaks a tackle. He's in. Touchdown! Oh my goodness.
Right up the gut. We've seen it all season long. The teams, those quick, the 32, 33 pop plays, right up the gut, go for big yardages again.
All you got to do is that tackle steps inside that defensive tackle. As they say, you can't get to him if you are that DT, which you can't. And again, it works for Matt Littlefield. And again, Brewer puts 6 more points on the scoreboard. 1:08 left to go here in the first quarter. Brewer has just befuddled Belfast, now leading 12-0 as the Lions call a timeout. And Butch Arthurs wants to talk about it. Hey, Dutch Chevrolet is a 3rd-generation family-owned business. At Dutch Chevrolet, doing business the right way, it's not just a slogan, but a way of life. Our new and used car lots are conveniently located, so you can see the hundreds of vehicles we have to show you at your convenience. Dutch Chevrolet, routes 1 and 3 in Belfast, doing business the right way, always. We've got a timeout on the field with the score. The Brewer Witches 12. Belfast Lions, nothing.
That's unbelievable. I don't want to know what they call. The only thing, it looked like it was an inadvertent whistle is what it looked like.
That's about the only thing I'm thinking.
Yeah, which I don't know how.
Come the Brewer Witches, as Brewer now will go for the 2-point conversion attempt out of that wishbone formation, as the handoff will go to number 5 as he tries to find the end zone. He does not, as Zach Wilson is denied the end zone by the Belfast defense. So with 1:08 left to go here in the first quarter, the score, the Brewer Witches 12, the Belfast Lions nothing. I'll remind you, you're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. Back here at the Belfast Area High School with 1:08 left to go in the first quarter, Brewer has stunned the Belfast Lions and have taken a quick 12-0 lead here at homecoming. And the Witches will kick off to the Lions as Alders and Horn are back there. Here we go, putting his foot into the football, McAvoy, as it goes to Alders. He's going to run that middle wedge, runs right into a Brewer ball player, able to make the tackle. The ball spotted at the 32 as number 23, Richter, one of the co-captains for the Witches.
What I would watch for from the Belfast offense on this series of downs is for them to take at least 1 or 2 shots, you know, not necessarily down the field, but some kind of trick play, some kind of big counter play, just something to get the momentum back, get some kind of big play to Garen Horn, get Josh Aldous loose, something like that.
Yeah, maybe more touches. Garen, maybe what, 5 to 10 touches tonight?
Yeah, last week he had 9, and I really think that's the number you have to at least get to 9 to give him, I think.
As Aldous slipped on the play, and there was nothing that Andy could do. Tried to hand off to Aldous, and Josh slipped. So it's going to be a loss on the play of 3, so make it 2nd and 13. As Littlefield comes in with a play from the bench. Second half, 13 yards to go for Belfast as they spot the ball shy of the 30. We're going to call it the 29.
Excuse me, Bear, sorry. This Belfast offense is on the verge of going 4 straight quarters without scoring any points whatsoever.
Whalen calling signal, short I formation, split wide to the right side. Fake to the first, second man pass out in the flat. Intercepted down there by Brewer. Down to the 10, 5. Touchdown! Intercepted by Zach Wilson as the Lions wanted to pass out in the flat. And Zach Wilson comes up with the interception and the touchdown for the Brewer Witches. And all of a sudden, Ben, things are just crumbling for the Lions.
An absolute backbreaker for this Belfast football team. I mean, it's still, we've got 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, very early in this ball game. Belfast is capable of coming back, but right now I think they are just stunned with the way this game has turned out so far. I think they thought after last week, you know, that we're not going to let that happen again. Brewers come out and they've taken control of this ball game.
Now the Brewer Witches are going to go for the 2-point conversion attempt as Porter calls signals. And he's going to follow his motion man around that right side. He'll pitch back to him. He's in. It's good for the 2 points as Kevin McAvoy goes in for the 2-point conversion attempt, which is good. So with 14 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, the score, the Brewer Witches 20, the Belfast Lions nothing, as both teams come back upfield. I'll remind you, you're watching schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. And 14.3 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Brewer takes a 20-0 lead over Belfast and just caught Belfast completely by surprise.
It really did. Zach Wilson made a great play that time on the ball as he read it the whole way and was able to pick it up, and he almost dropped it once, but was able to keep hold of it.
Here we go, Aldous at the 50-yard line. Going to be brought down by a couple of Brewer tacklers, but that's the Aldous of old. As a McAvoy able to make the stop, but you saw that long stride that Josh had. He looked good out there running.
We haven't seen it the last 2 times he's gotten the ball back there. It's been short, choppy steps, like you said, and he's been 7-8 yard returns. That's the first time we've seen him break free for one of those long kickoff returns. And I mean, it's something I'd like to. I'd look for Belfast right now. You know, I really think they can come back in this ball game, and I think they're going to make a point right here to score a touchdown.
Short I formation, split wide to the right side. Calling signals, and the pitch goes back to Alders, getting some penetration. Brewer, Alders able to break through that, coming up from the backside after getting the penetration.
I'll tell you what.
Sylvian makes a stop for Brewer, so give Belfast a 2nd and 8 yards to go.
Belfast got away with a hold that time as it was right in front of the referee. Wilson got tackled, I think it was by Nate Littlefield. I'm not sure why the referee didn't call it, but it's a break for Belfast.
As the time runs out here in the first quarter, at the end of one complete quarter of football, the score, Brewer 20, Belfast nothing. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5.
Atlantic Insurance and Benefits is a locally owned agency offering insurance for the home, small business, auto, life, and health for individuals and groups. They are located at 58 High Street in Belfast.
Good luck to our home team, the Belfast Lions, from Matthews Brothers, your hometown source for millwork products for nearly 150 years. Our quality Acadia and Alliance windows are built here in our Belfast plant to withstand the rigors of New England weather. They can be seen in our custom showrooms in Belfast, Rockland, and Bangor. Matthews Brothers, looking ahead for 150 years.
At the Belfast Area High School to start the second quarter, Belfast with the football. Short I formation, split wide to the right side. Andrew calls signals, handoff goes to Horn. He breaks a tackle, got one man to beat, watch out! And he's knocked out of bounds by number 30 in there, Ricky Porter. If Porter hadn't gotten a hand on him, I think he was gone for 6.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the sideline that time was Guerin's enemy as he ran out of room, because I'm sure he could have outran both of the Brewer defenders.
Now listen, Belfast, you can't give up on them. Many did when they played York. Got down by, 17, 18 points, and they came back and won the ball game big. So, hey, the Lions are capable.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what you're seeing right now, this offense is moving, and I think they want this right now. This is their homecoming, and this is their home field. They do not want to lose this ball game.
So the handoff goes to Horn, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's just about it. As big number 79, Sean Pulley. Pulley, we remember him from last year, the senior 6'1", 270-pound guard tackle. Makes a stop for Brewer. A loss of 1 on the play, second down, 11 yards to go for the Belfast Lions, as they've got to get that sustained blocking. One thing we try to preach to the kids is finish the block. Finish the block. Short I formation, same formation, reverse pivot by the Belfast quarterback, Wayland. Wayland gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage, and that's going to do it. Nice stop again made in there by Pulley.
Belfast tried the option that time, a play that worked last week, but Kingsbury and Caldwell played it perfectly for Brewer. They had one guy on the pitch man, one guy on the quarterback. Wayland had nowhere to go with it. 11
minutes left to go here in the first half. Just underway in the second quarter. Ned Leitner, Ben Cowan, and the Grizzly but Lovable Band bringing to you the ball game on Educational Channel 5. Thank you very much for tuning us in. As Bouchard splits wide to the right side. So we've got Trips over here with a single setback. As Wayland drops back, we're going to flood the zone to the right side, and bringing him down, big number 72. Oh my goodness, they had flooded the zone, had one man all alone with nobody on him, Horn, and Andrew could not see him. And Matt Wilson, big kid, puts a stop on Wayland, along with Jamie Ecker.
You get the big kids in there, and Andy just simply can't see over him. He couldn't see over, I forget who you said it was that time. And then he tried to release from the pocket and break out towards the left side. Josh Gallant was still keeping his block there, and Andy couldn't get out of the pocket.
And you can tell Coach Butch Richards is not happy down there. I think he's pulling his hair out.
He is, and they might be going for the same play right here.
Again, they put Trips on the right side. Wayland is back. This time he's going to let it go. He's got Horn out there, almost intercepted by the Brewer Witches as Kevin McAvoy goes high in the air for Brewer. Knocks it down, so it's going to be a Brewer hold. And Belfast will have to give up the football with 9:42 left to go here in the first half. Penobscot McRum on Front Street in Belfast helping to bring to you the game tonight. We thank them very much for their support. Penobscot McRum on Front Street in Belfast, the makers of fine quality potato products. So here come the Brewer Witches, first and 10 out of that wishbone formation with a slight slide over to the left side. As McAvoy hands off to guess who, number 21. And Brewer picks up about 7 on the play. So give them now 2nd and 3. Right now, they've just got the momentum going, and they're just getting good blocking from their interior line.
They really are. That line is really taking control of this ball game. Brewer's picking up huge chunks of yards every time they rush the football.
So Ricky Porter to McAvoy, a pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Power right to the left side, it looks like. Belfast may be called for the encroachment, as it looked like Dan Johnson may have stuck a foot over across into that neutral zone.
The second too early that time.
Now wait a minute. Brewer moves back. No, it's going to be called against the Witches.
They're going to say that he drew him off sides. A big call that time for Belfast.
I was going to say Dan's pretty disciplined down there at that nose tackle. It pays off this time. So 2nd and 8 for Brewer. As waiting for the play is Porter.
I was going to say, usually they don't always blow that dead when the defensive man goes off sides. They let the play go, and then the offense can choose to decline or accept the penalty.
Single setback. In motion goes Wilson again. It's that big kid up the middle, Matt Littlefield. 1-arm tackle, 2-arm tackles broken at the 30-yard line.
They're going to have a hold on Brewer right here as Garen Horn was held, the back of his jersey. The Brewer blocker had right a hold of it, and this one's coming back.
Matt Littlefield again. That quick pop right up through the middle of the line. And Coach Butch Arthurs is befuddled. I mean, it's coming, and they just can't seem to stop it.
Yeah, they really can, and I mean, it's a theme that's developed throughout this year. Those quick hitters right up the middle. For some reason, the defense just has trouble, I think, reading the play, what's coming up, and they just can't get there to make the hit or make a pile.
As they had sent Zach Wilson in motion from right to left, and again, that pop play to Littlefield. It's coming, and they just can't seem to stop it inside. So Belfast has put Roberts back in there to hopefully get some bulk in there and some pinch action and to maybe fill that gap on the inside. Wing out to the right side, double setback. As Porter calls signals, again handoff goes over the right side and another flag flies to the inside.
That looked like it could be something like a face mask. It's a little bit late towards the end of the play. I don't think it was a hold. Oh.
As you say that, they call a hold. Boy,
Hey.
I'll tell you, you're having a bad night tonight, too.
I'll tell you what, but hey, if ever I was going to be wrong, I'm glad it was on something like that.
So here we go, second down, and we're going to call it a little bit more than it was the last time. As it moves it back to the original line of scrimmage pretty much.
An encouraging thing from that play is that was the exact same play Brewer ran the play before. Belfast was able to stuff it that time for only a yard or two gain.
2nd and 10 for the Brewer Witches as they spot the ball at the 38-yard line of Brewer. Double setback, wing to the right side. As Porter calls signals, as the pitch goes back on the dipsy-do play out here in the flat, intercepted by Belfast as Travis Lee intercepts the ball that was thrown up in the air by McAvoy. So let's hope this is the break that the Belfast Lions need to get on the move here.
And you know, one thing that was missing from that play, I didn't hear a whistle before the end of it, calling it back, so. But again,
I know what you're saying.
Seriously though, Travis Lee, I mean, like we said earlier in the game, all over the field. He was just waiting for that ball to come down. I don't know if it was tipped or the quarterback was hit as he was throwing it, but Lee was right there to make the play. A big play for Belfast. They need to capitalize.
Whalen back in at quarterback. The ball spotted at the 40-yard line of Brewer. I don't know, that play seemed like kind of a strange play to me. It looked
really
like it was tapped up front too by one of those big hands.
Yeah.
Maybe Roberts and Johnson. Here we go, Belfast with a wing to the right side, short I formation. A busted play again. This time Whalen takes off, tries to go through the 5-hole, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. As Belfast has just got to finish those blocks. You got to get in, drive them off the line, and keep going to the whistle.
They really do. Is right now they're just having trouble. They're opening up the holes for the runners.
Lehman comes in for the blue and gold. Tonight's game brought to you by Parento's Floor Covering on East Main Street in Searsport. To Butch and Tim and all the fine folks, Helen is back at Parento's Floor Covering on East Main Street in Searsport, and we thank Parento's very much. Wide to the right side goes Lehman, double setback. Whalen back to pass. He's under a heavy rush, able to break one tackle as he wanted to hit Bouchard, I believe, over in that left flat. Pass falls incomplete, was not long enough.
I'll tell you what though, an incomplete pass though, we'll take that, as Andy did a great job to escape two Brewer defenders who just came right through the line. I mean, I don't know if they were unblocked or what, but they were back there quick, and Andy was able to get away from him and get the pass away and avoid a sack.
Belfast, usually a well-blocking, well-disciplined team on the pass play, but all of a sudden, one man gets through and it can cause havoc in that whole pass play. So give Belfast now a 3rd and 9. Double setback, split wide to the right side. Whalen calls signals. He's going to go back to pass as he's got Horn out there in the flat, and Horn's going to go absolutely nowhere as Brewer gets some good disciplined defense over there.
Kingsbury again that time, but beautifully read by the Brewer defense. They saw the screen coming. They didn't rush in after the quarterback. They stayed back, and 8-yard loss for Belfast, and I think they're going to have to punt the ball away now. I
would think 4th down and 16. Good fair bet right there. 6:37 left to go here in the first half. Brewer on top, 20-0 over the Lions. And it's going to be this time Travis Lee back to punt. And going back, it looks like Porter and Zach Wilson. So Porter and Wilson setting up back there. Snap comes back. Travis Lee gets a nice foot into the ball. As it will come back to Wilson. Wilson, an arm tackle, able to break one. Break two, goes down the sideline. And a saving tackle by Hugh Morris at the 30-yard line. As you keep alluding to, Ben, those arm tackles get you nowhere.
They really don't, and I mean, you think that you can bring them down arm tackle wise. And when I played, I was one of the worst. I was one of the worst tacklers ever, and it was a lot of arm tackling stuff. You can't bring down somebody that's running full speed with just your arms. You can put a shoulder into them, wrap them up.
Here comes Ricky Porter. He leads out the Brewer Witches. Double wing formation, lone setback, Littlefield. Porter calls signals. On the reverse coming back, number 5, Zach Wilson. As going in motion away was McAvoy. Wilson gets back to the line of scrimmage. Good defense that time by the Belfast Lions.
Good job, Huey Morris that time. I think he was the guy getting trapped on the end that time, and he did a great job to take on that block, force the runner into more Belfast defenders on the interior.
Huey's a force in there, I'll tell you.
He is.
It takes a lot to get that kid out of there.
He does, and he's a name we haven't really talked about a lot in the last 2 weeks, and one that we really did the first 3, so look for him to make some kind of big play in there.
Porter calling signals, wishbone formation. It looked like the right halfback moved a little early, but they called nothing. As Porter in motion goes nowhere as he gets the flip off on the pass.
I think they're going to call a forward pass right here on the quarterback on that option. I'm not sure who grabbed it. It might have been McAvoy or Littlefield, but I think it was ahead of the quarterback.
As we do have a flag down on the field, and I think you're right, Ben, as the official puts a hand on the head and puts a hand behind, and that's exactly what the call is going to be as they talk to Captain Gallant of Belfast. KSW Federal Credit Union right up the street on Waldo Avenue in Belfast. Laurie and all the good-looking girls up there at the KSW Federal Credit Union, thank you very much for your support in tonight's and this season's high school football schedule. The KSW Federal Credit Union, thank you very much for your support. 5:18 left to go here in the first half. The score Brewer 20 as they have just completely surprised the Belfast Lions as they lead 20-0 as the ball is brought back to the 29-yard line.
I think it's very important for Belfast to put some kind of points on the board before halftime, as we've got 5:18 remaining.
As Brewer comes out, splits wide to the right side, they'll stay in that wishbone for this play. 3rd down, 12 yards to go for the Witches. As Porter calls signals, fake to the first man. Porter still has the ball. As Huey Moore slips, he flips it out on the option. As they are able to drill him out of bounds, he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Good-looking option offense right there that time, but Belfast reacting real well.
They had great pursuit that time. Huey Morris almost got to the quarterback, just you saw him slip there at the end. And you know, this is one thing last week, Belfast forced York to punt 1 time. And again, this is the first time Brewers are going to have to punt. And with these 2 guys back there, it's something that you've got to force the other team to punt to these guys.
Looks like McAvoy back to punt for Brewer. High snap comes back, but he's able to get it away. Nice spiraling kick comes down to Alders. Dangerous situation, but Alders just wants to try to break something. As he gets it to the 40-yard line, and that's where Belfast will put it in play. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. 4:30 left to go here in the first half. It's Brewer 20, Belfast nothing. So here come the Lions. They hope to at least, get something into that end zone.
I kind of like to see them maybe switch it up into that 2-minute offense we saw last week. Give this offense some kind of shot in the arm. They've got 2 first downs so far in this first half. And right now, I mean, you've just got to find some way to generate some offense.
As Mike Bushard out of that Belfast lineup, as they come out short I formation, wing to the right side. Fake to the first man, handoff goes to Alders. Alders looking good, dipping, duking, jiving, gets it up to midfield. Belfast 1st and 10.
Again, that time the Lions were able to open up that hole, and that's one of the first times we've seen him be able to get up to that full long stride, as you said, because before he's waiting for that hole to develop. He's got those short chubby steps, and he just can't go anywhere.
Looks like Justin Bonofsky and Ryan Totman in there doing a good job that time. As Jeff Fry's now in there for Belfast at the tackle spot. So Fry's helping to open up that last hole.
Look for him to go right back to that play or right back to that side and let them open up that hole again.
In motion goes Lehman as the handoff will go inside. Belfast able to pick up a yard. And that's just about it as Garen Horn, the ball carrier. Littlefield comes in for Belfast. So Jeff Fry's in at that right tackle, doing a good job for the Lions. I'll tell you, he's an asset. It's good to have him back in that lineup.
Oh, it is. I think we were missing him for the first game or 2 of the season.
Yep.
And it just adds more depth to that.
Jeff's done a good job. He's worked his way back, doing a real good job. Handoff goes to the second man, that being Aldous. Breaks one, breaks two, brings it down to the 30. First and 10 for the Belfast Lions.
Belfast is finding it off that right side with Fries over there. I mean, this is, you go back to that double dive. We haven't seen it in the first half yet. Belfast is going back to their bread and butter, and it's working right now.
Hey, don't panic. That's the thing, fellas.
Exactly.
Don't panic.
I mean, it's the first half. This offense is very capable of scoring 20 points in a ball game.
Believe, fellas, believe, as the referee is going to blow the whistle. We may have a timeout on the field. With this timeout, 3:12 remaining in the first half to score. The Brewer Witches 20, the Belfast Lions nothing. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. The Belfast Lions, something going here at the closure of the first half. As Waylon Call signals reverse pivot, handoff goes to Horn, as now Guerin eats away some good real estate. Gets it down close to that 20-yard line and close to another Belfast first and 10.
What those first downs by Aldous did was they're allowing Belfast to open up the offense. They're opening the holes on the interior defense because Belfast has gone off tackle for two big runs by Aldous. So right now Brewer is keen on that off tackle spot and Aldous.
Not wasting any time. Whalen hands off again to Aldous. He blasts off tackle as he does. We've got all sorts of flags hitting the field.
We're going to have a hold, I think, on Belfast this time.
Unfortunately,
they're counting the players. Maybe too many men on the field for Brewer.
As Fries hustles back to the huddle, Jeff's doing a wicked good job in there at that tackle spot. As now we say Belfast is going to get the first and 10, so they will move the chains.
What it is, I think the referee miscounted on his initial count, and when he went to count them after the play, they were the right amount there for Brewer, so he picked it up.
So I've seen a lot of strange things tonight, especially that play over on the far side. Maybe we can talk about it some more. Hey, Dutch Chevrolet is a third-generation family-owned business. At Dutch Chevrolet, doing business the right way, it's not just a slogan, but a way of life. Our new and used car lots are conveniently located, so you can see the hundreds of vehicles we have to show you at your convenience. Dutch Chevrolet, routes 1 and 3 in Belfast, doing business the right way, always. With 2:40 left to go here in the first half, the score, the Brewer Witches 20, the Belfast Lions nothing. I'll remind you, you're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, at right tackle, you got Jeff Fries. At right guard, you got Totman. At center, Thoman, Hopkins, and Wilkie over on the other side. Let's see if they can move him out of there. As the handoff goes immediately through the middle on that pop play, it goes to Horn. He gets a good 8 yards on the play. Gets down inside. Nope, they're going to call it right at the 5. So make it 2nd and 3 for Belfast. This is the first real threat for Belfast so far in the ballgame.
It really is, and it's very important for them to put some kind of points up on this scoreboard before the half. As offsides on Belfast, their first penalty of the ballgame.
And it comes at a most inopportune time. Premature movement called against the Lions, so that's going to move it back 5 yards. That'll give them a second, and we'll say, let's see, they spot the ball right around the 9-yard line. So that's going to give them a second, and we'll say 6. So here we go. Whalen leads out the Lions.
And I think they're going to readjust the ball this time, as it was spotted at the 5 or the 6-yard line, and so they only pushed them back 3-4 yards. So
we'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hey, the Camden National Bank Downtown Shopping Plaza in Belfast brings to you in part Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. To all the fine folks at the Camden National Bank, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. Camden National Bank, Downtown Shopping Plaza in Belfast. Whalen is all set. You got Littlefield on the wing, short I formation. Andrew Call signals for Belfast. Lions are down. Handoff goes to Aldous. He's off tackle. Tries to get inside. Tries to break that tackle. Gets a couple of yards, and that's just about it. That's a good Brewer effort right there.
Brewer that time had all 11 guys in the box. I look for Belfast to try some kind of option out around the ends, just try to get around that defense, because with all 11 guys up there, that defense it's very susceptible to either a pass or an option out around the end with all the guys sucked down into the middle.
Richter on the stop for Brewer with 1:26 left to go here in the first half. Belfast 3rd down, and we'll call it 7 to go for the first down. Whalen calls signals. It goes to Horn. He breaks 1, 2 tackles. Darren Horn. He's in. Touchdown. Touchdown, Lions.
Big play that time for Belfast. You keep giving it to him, he's going to pop one loose. And that's what they did. And they've got the points on the board now, and you know, they can build off that. It's exactly what they needed.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Believe, kids. You got to believe. Here we go. Travis Lee into that offensive lineup. Throwing out over the football. Good job by Garen Horn. Good job blocking inside by Belfast. You go down, and hey, that's what they did, and they did what they had to do. As Brewer is going to call timeout, as they do, I would like to remind you that Consumers Fuel has been serving the Belfast area since 1911 with quality heating oil, gas, and propane. Stay warm this winter and the winters to come with Consumers Fuel. Reasonable rates and payment plans you can afford. Consumers Fuel, working hard to keep your business. Consumers Fuel, 338-2000, 12 Main Street, Belfast. Consumers Fuel, we thank you very much for your support. With 1:10 left to go here in the first half, it's 20-6 Brewer. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, let's see what Whalen can put together for his Lions as Travis Lee, the wing out on the right side. Short I formation, fake to the first man, the second man. 24 TD pass, maybe. It's dropped down there by the intended Belfast receiver, Joey Morse. So as both teams come back upfield with 1:10 remaining in the first half, the score, the Brewer, which is 20, the Belfast Lions 6. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. With 1:10 left to go in the first half, 20-6 Brewer with the lead. Hey, I would like to remind you folks that Consumers Fuel has been serving the Belfast area since 1911 with quality heating oil, gas, and propane. Stay warm this winter and the winters to come with Consumers Fuel. Reasonable rates and payment plans you can afford. Consumers Fuel, working hard to keep your business. Consumers Fuel, 338-2000, 12 Main Street in Belfast. And thank you very much to Medium John, Ralph, Barry, and all the fine folks down there at Consumers Fuel. Here we go, as Greg Holm will boot it away for Belfast. And back to receive it for Brewer Kevin McAvoy. McAvoy right up the middle now. He cuts to the outside, gets a block, and that's all he needed. McAvoy may go all the way on the kickoff return. He's in. Touchdown. McAvoy, 90 yards maybe?
85 or 90.
85 and 90 yards, and McAvoy has just electrified the visiting crowd over on the far side, as many have traveled down from Brewer. And again, the Belfast crowd is shocked.
I'll tell you what, that right there, I think that breaks the back of this Belfast line. I mean, it's not halftime yet. This game is by no means over. Don't get me wrong, but I think that really just took all the momentum Belfast gained and threw it right out the window, and Belfast is going to have to come out at halftime and really put something together on their first possession. 26-6, certainly not insurmountable, but they've got a ways to come. As Porter calls signals for the Witches, split wide to the right side, double setback. On the counterback to Wilson, he does not get in. As Wilson tries to get in on the counter, Belfast able to provide the good defense. So as both teams come back upfield, 57 seconds left to go in the first half to score. The Brewer Witches 26, the Belfast Lions 6. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, getting set to boot it away for the Brewer Witches. Kevin McAvoy, as he approaches the ball, bang, it goes away. It's pooched out there. It'll come back to Garen Horn. He'll pick it up at the 15. Breaks the tackle, brings it down to the 25, and he's upended right there at the 25-yard line.
by number 23 of the Brewer Witches, Jake Richter. So that's where Belfast will open up here with 49 seconds left to go.
49 seconds left. Let's see what Coach Richards has, cooked up. See if he has something up his sleeve, trying to break some kind of big play or trick play. See if you can put something in the end zone here to respond.
Short I formation, split wide to the right side. Reverse pivot, handoff goes to Horn. Guerin breaks one, breaks two tackles. Had one man to beat, and he was off to the races as it's spotted at the 35 with 39 seconds left to go.
Belfast takes their second timeout.
So with a timeout on the field, I would like to remind the folks at Penobscot McGrum, bringing to you in part schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5 this season. Thank you very much to the friendly people down there at Penobscot McGrum on Front Street in Belfast, makers of fine quality potato products. You know that aroma in the morning? Oh, that's that potato product.
Yep.
38 seconds left on the clock, 26 to 6. Brewer with the lead. I'll remind you, you're watching schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, Andy Whalen calls signals from Belfast with a double setback. But wide to the right side. Whalen now back to pass and get a man out in the flat on the old give and go, the hook and ladder. As it goes to Horn on the hook and ladder, Gallant to Horn. They get a couple of yards, and we've got another flag. Mr. Anderson throws the flag, I believe. Well, I'm really getting bad. Throw the flag.
And then they're going to say Mike Bouchard was ineligible downfield that time.
As the ball will come back. As Mr. Anderson picks up his flag. You know, you can't touch those flags either. That's a penalty in itself. 31 seconds left to go here in the first half. 26 to 6 Brewer with the lead. Belfast all set to go. Second down, and we'll call it 6 for the Lions. Short I formation, Whalen back to pass. Gets some good blocking, just takes too much time back there. And Whalen is brought down by number 17 of the Brewer Witches, Ben Codwell. Codwell having a good game indeed. 18 seconds left to go. Belfast will take another one of those timeouts. And Parento's floor covering on East Main Street in Searsport, bringing to you in part schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Parento's floor covering. Stop in and say hi to Butch, Tim, Helen, and all the fine people at Parento's floor covering, East Main Street in Searsport. With 18 seconds remaining here in the first half, I'll remind you, you're watching schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, Andy Whalen hoping to put something together in the final 18 seconds as we've got short I formation in tight on the left and right. As the handoff goes right up the middle on that pop play, hoping to catch Brewer sleeping as Jeff Fries leads the blocking out there. As it went to Guerin Horn with Totman also getting some good blocking, finishing the block. As they do, time runs out, and that does it here at the end of one half of football. The score, the Belfast Lions trailing the Brewer Witches by a score of 26 to 6. We'll be back to take a look at the scoring with Ben Cowan and get Ben's thoughts on this first half. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5.
Belfast Auto Supply is your locally owned Napa store. We've been in business for over 20 years and our staff has 30 years of experience in the auto parts industry. Open 7 days a week, Belfast Auto Supply is a complete auto parts store, offering everything from parts to paint to a full machine shop. We're located at 201 Northport Avenue.
Dr. Michael Martin, keeping an eye on your eyes. With offices in both Belfast and Rockport, Dr. Martin has been in practice for over 27 years. From eye exams and complete eye care to their on-premise lab and complete professional staff to take care of your eyewear needs, Dr. Martin and his office staff are there to serve you. The Maine Chowder and Steakhouse offers a breathtaking view of Penobscot Bay, as well as a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere and delicious food with great service. They have been recognized by the Gourmet Society of North America with its Golden Fork Award. The Maine Chowder and Steakhouse, Route 1, Belfast. The Yankee Trader Gift Shop offers something for everyone. With their wonderful assortment of eclectic gifts from Maine and beyond, the delicious homemade fudge is shipped worldwide, and new items are arriving daily for your fall and Christmas gift shopping. Open year-round, it's the all-new Yankee Trader Gift Shop, located next to the Comfort Inn in Belfast.
It's halftime here at the Belfast Area High School, and Brewer has stung the Lions. 26-6 they lead, and Ben Cowan, a lot of people here who have gathered, a huge home support crowd, are just stunned by what's happened.
I think they really are. I mean, by no means did they expect this game at halftime to stand at 26-6 Brewer. I mean, it's not over yet, but right now Belfast has got to come out. They've got to put together some major drives to start this second half off, and they've got to really steal that momentum away from Brewer, because that McAvoy kickoff return really just, I mean, it lowered any hopes Belfast had of coming back in this ball game dramatically.
No doubt about that. So, you know, I think one thing that surprised Belfast is Brewer seems to have taken the play right out of Belfast playbook. That old bang, bang, pop play. And Littlefield runs it so well. It's just that Porter just gives it to Littlefield, and he's gone.
You know, you're right. I mean, it's such a quick play that the defense, they can't recognize that the fullback has the ball until after Littlefield's already passed the second tier of the Belfast defenders and the linebackers. And once he's into that secondary, it's really trouble for any defense.
Okay, now, keeping things in proper perspective, Belfast will get the ball in the second half. They're down by 20 points. They're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the defense has got to tighten up a lot.
They really do, and I mean, we saw that second quarter, Brewer they were held without a first down, which is really, I mean, they were able to score 6 points on that kickoff return, but Belfast held Brewer without a first down in that second period, which is penalties helped out, but the defense really did tighten up, so I look for them to carry that over into this third quarter, I would hope, and really just, you know, go down, score on the first possession, 3 and out for Brewer, you're right back in the ball game.
Absolutely. This number, 342-4346, puts you in touch with Topman's Enterprises of Searsmont. Topman's can be your best friend when you need to tow your vehicle. 342-4346. Write it down and post it in your vehicle. Topman's Enterprises, your professional towing company on the New England Road in Searsmont with reasonable rates always. Okay, Ben, the Belfast Lions aren't out of the ball game. You alluded to a little bit before the commercial announcement. What do you think? Belfast, they come down, put it in the end zone quick, 3, hold them, then come back, put it in the end zone again. Hey, they're right back in the ball game.
They really are, and I mean, it's real easy to say that ideally, but in reality, I mean, they're not out of this ball game. Even if they go down and they score in this opening possession, it doesn't have to be quick. Just a nice drive by Belfast, put it together, punch it in the end zone, 2-point conversion. You're down 26-14. That's 2 touchdowns away. You stop Brewer, you hold them, you get the ball back, you score or you don't score. Either way, the key is to hold Brewer, because I really think Belfast can score those 20 points in the second half. If they shut Brewer out in this second half, I think Belfast can win this ball game.
Again, to me, it's defense. You get to shut down that outside play. You can't let the Brewer runner get to your outside shoulder. Once that happens, your offense falls apart. So, hey, let's work on that at halftime and see what develops here in the second half.
It's a very simple concept, one that the coaches I know are talking over with Huey Morris, and Mike Bouchard right now. Is keep that outside contained, force them into the middle where you've got help tackling them. You don't have to make every tackle, just don't let them get outside of you. That's your responsibility. If you have no tackles and nobody gets outside of you, then that's a very successful game.
Well, hey, Ben's let us all know what they have to do. Let's hope they can come out here in the second half and put it all together and do it. I'll remind you, you're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5.
From traditional to trendy, classic to quaint, and everything in between, McLeod's offers a wide range of quality furniture and a full line of appliances, bedding, and flooring. Everything you need under one roof. McLeod Furniture, where you receive service after the sale. The Benjamin family, owners of the Belfast Variety, the Moral General Store, and the Belfast Variety Route 52, are pleased to support coverage of the Belfast Lions. United Auto is a family-owned business offering select pre-owned autos, trucks, sport utility, and luxury vehicles, both domestic and imported. Every vehicle is fully serviced, computer scanned, and reconditioned prior to sale. United Auto, Route 1 South, Belfast, serving satisfied customers for over 35 years.
Belfast Area High School, the Bear, along with Ben Cowan and Ned Leitner, all set to go to get the second half underway. And Ned, as Ned was saying, and I was agreeing, and you were somewhere, I don't know, probably up against the wall drooling. Hey, Belfast is by no means out of this ball game, Ben. A couple of scores and they're right back in.
They really are, and it's something that you've got to keep in. You've got to keep in the heads of your kids right now if you're the coaching staff. You can't get it all back in one play. You've got to take it one down at a time, and you've got to keep scoring those touchdowns. But you're not going to get 20 points back on this first possession. So just make sure you take care of business on this first possession. Go down and score a touchdown.
Kevin McAvoy pushes it as it goes to that midway man, and that being Littlefield, he'll bring it up across the 40, down to the 42-yard line to Belfast. First and 10 at the 42. You got to believe, ladies and gentlemen, you got to believe. Just remember what the Bear's telling you. 20 points is not insurmountable. They'll come back.
This offense is very capable of putting together three scoring drives is what it is. Very capable of putting together 3 scoring drives in 2 quarters of play.
Short I formation, wing to the right side.
And watch for Belfast to come out, go right back to that double dive series that was so successful at the end of that second quarter.
Whalen calls signals. And we're going to go over the left side, and guess who? It's Alders as he cuts to the outside, brings it to the 45, down to the 47-yard line. Stop made in there by number 3, that being Kingsbury. Boy, we've heard his name before.
Oh, we have. He's played an excellent game on that right side for Brewer. That's the first time we've seen a trap to Josh Aldis for Belfast. I mean, they've done the inside trap again, but they've not gone to the outside trap, and that time it was good for 5 yards, and he was 1 block away from springing that.
Second down and 6 yards to go for the Lions. Short I formation, wing to the right side. Reverse pivot, handoff goes to no one as Whalen keeps it on that quarterback keeper, brings it into Brewer territory to the 45. So it's good enough for the Belfast first and 10. As Whalen getting great blocking from his line.
That was a great call that time by the Belfast coaching staff. Coach Richards, they've been setting that up all game long. Guerin's got 4 or 5 of those inside traps that we just mentioned in there. That time they faked the trap to him, and Andy turned right around and went off the left tackle. A great play call.
Thurman out over the ball. Wing to the right side, short I formation. Horn and Aldis. Whalen calling signals. This time he'll keep the ball on the quarterback rollout, cuts back to the inside as he runs into Huey Morris. Whalen getting maybe a half a yard, and that's about it. Huey ought to turn around and block downfield. That's what you got to do.
And you know, Bear, another thing to think about is it seems like every year we head down to Brewer, they come here, and we fall behind early. And they kind of catch us off guard, and they get a big lead. And in the second half, we've lost two of those games late. One in overtime, one towards the end of the game. But we've been in this position against Brewer before, where we're forced to come back and they do it. So I mean, that's just one of those. Another thing just to think about.
Brewer comes out in that 6-2 defense. Alders, he going inside. He's going outside. Ends up going to the inside. Brings it inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. And a pickup of 6 or 7 on the play.
Right now, if you're Belfast, you've got to be very happy with the way your team has come out, as they've gotten 2 quick first downs. Oh, no, again, that chain's moving. It looks like it's going to be a first down, but he's just moving. He didn't mean it. But what you're seeing is you're seeing Aldis able to get up to the full speed, get through that hole, get into the secondary. Brewer right now is bringing him down, but you know Aldis is just, he's very capable of breaking that final tackle, and it's going to happen eventually if you keep pounding it in there.
They're going to bring the chains out. They're going to measure for this first down. Just underway here at the Belfast Area High School, 3rd quarter of action. We would like to thank McLeod's Furniture, Atlantic Insurance, United Auto, the Belfast Variety, the Maine Chowder and Steakhouse, Eastside Garage, Consumers Fuel, Belfast Auto Supply, Matthews Brothers, Coleman Shoe, Yankee Trader Gift Shop, Dr. Michael Martin, and Dutch Chevrolet. for their support and their sponsorship of schoolboy football for the 2004 season. 6-2 defense by the Brewer Witches. As Belfast faced with a third, we're going to call it a half a foot. Double setback, wing to the right side. Out of that tee, Whalen calls signals. In motion goes Littlefield. As we've got the hammer play on, it's going to be enough for the 1st and 10 for Belfast. You put the wing in motion, he's the one that trap blocks, and Belfast able to get that first down.
They only needed about 6 inches that time, and they knew if they could get that block up the middle with the wingback, like you said, Bear, then Garen was just going to at least be able to get that yard in there for the first down, and he did.
Again, Belfast wasting no time as they want to try to keep that positive momentum going down there. Short I formation, wing to the right side. Whalen calls signals for Belfast. Reverse pivot, handoff to Horn, able to break out of that tackle. Horn now blasts into the secondary. A pickup of 4 on the play. So give the Lions now a 2nd and 6. 9:18 left to go here in the third quarter. 26-6 Brewer with that lead.
You know, 5-6 yards of carry is what Belfast is getting right now, and it's what you want from your offense. And it's a big play offense. It's really based on big plays. They move the ball, but really what scores it for this Belfast team is the big 20-yard run by Horn, Aldis, Whalen, any of them.
As Whalen will keep the football, fake to the counterman. Whalen keeps it over that 3-hole. A pickup of 3 maybe, depending on the spot. So Belfast now faced with a third. We're going to call it 2 or 3 yards. 8:40 left to go here in the third quarter. The Bear, along with Ben Cowan and Ned Leitner, bringing to you the ball game on Educational Channel 5. Glad to have you tune in.
Another 3rd and short for this Belfast offense. If they can keep leaving themselves with 3rd and, a yard, half yard, they're going to be in good shape.
Whalen calls signals. This time it's a fake to the first back through. Andrew's going to keep the ball. Looks like it's enough for the Belfast 1st and 10. The thing Belfast cannot do is panic. Hey, take your time. Get the ball down the field, get it into the end zone, hopefully.
I think that's what you're seeing right here. I mean, they're just going with their solid offense. What they do best is what they're going with right now. They're not in any hurry. They're just making sure they execute. You've got to execute.
As Brewer continues with that 6 front, now they drop one off. They go to the 5-3. Handoff goes to Alders. Fakes through the middle, cuts back to the outside, gets it down to the 10-yard line. Close to another Belfast 1st and 10.
He's such a great improviser. That time he went to the right, the hole wasn't there. He bounced it back out to the left, and he made a couple moves and picked up 8 yards.
So here we go, 2nd and 2 for Belfast. Whalen leads out the Lions. 7:36 left to go in the third quarter. Belfast on the move, short I formation, wing to the right side. Reverse pivot. Whalen's going to keep it on the quarterback counter. Breaks off, tackle, the hole was there.
Gonna have a first down though, I believe.
Just as quick as it was there, it closed immediately.
It really did.
As coming up Peasley along with Kingsbury.
Well, first down goal in Belfast so far. They had 5 first downs in that first half, 3 of them coming on the touchdown drive that they had, and they've already have 4 on this first drive of the second half. Very good for Belfast.
1st and goal to go for the Lions, the ball at the 5. Thurman out over the ball, short I formation, wing to the right side. Tight on the left side. Whalen hands off to Alders. He cuts back to the inside. Is he in? Touchdown, Belfast! Touchdown, Alders. Nice little 5-yard scamper for Alders. He started off tackle, cut back to the inside. Touchdown, Lions.
And I'll tell you what this does to a Brewer football team that really went into halftime on a high. You go in, you're thinking, oh, we're beating this Belfast. They know this Belfast football team is a good team. And when Belfast comes out and they run it right down your throat like that, you kind of say, uh-oh, here they come, because that's what Belfast has created over the years by coming back, winning these football games. This is what they've created. You watch for this when Brewer gets the ball. They've got to keep the momentum.
Whalen now pitches back to Alders. Alders is in. As he goes in, the flag is thrown.
They're going to have a hold on Nate Littlefield this time. They're going to say he didn't release his block soon enough, and he ended up holding him.
Got to keep that flipper in. You preach that in practice day after day after day. Keep that flipper in. Sometimes it just doesn't seem to work.
I mean,
I'll tell you, Belfast scores, the ambulance goes out. Those are nice colors, aren't they?
They are, although one of those things you really don't like to see.
So that will move the ball back around the 11-yard line, Ben. So Belfast now, Littlefield getting the play from Coach Richards.
You know, it's one of those things. There's a great block by Littlefield. He just didn't let go of it when all this got by him. He just didn't release it soon enough. So, I mean, he did hold on to it. It was his fault, but I mean, at the same time, it was a great block.
To convert, the conversion attempt would be good right here. Wayland calls signals for the blue and gold. Double setback. As Wayland back to pass, he'll switch back to the left side to Alders. On the screen, he's got the blockers out there. Nice job out there by the Brewer Witches. As coming up, Richter. Jake Richter, the captain for Brewer, able to slip into the crease and put the stop on Alders.
He's this team's leading tackler, and he showed why that time is all this. You know, if Richter doesn't make that tackle, Belfast has 14 points right now instead of 12, and all they need is 2 touchdowns. Now they need 2 touchdowns and at least 1 2-point conversion to tie it up. So a big tackle that time by Richter.
As both teams come back upfield, 6:59 left to go in the third quarter. The score, Brewer 26, Belfast 12. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. 6:59 left to go here in the third quarter, 26-12, as Belfast puts 6 more on the board. And as we stated and alluded to at halftime, the Lions by no means are out of this ball game. As number 5 and 30, Zach Wilson, along with Ricky Porter and Kevin McAvoy are back to receive the kick of Garen Horn. So Garen approaches the ball, as it will come down to Kevin McAvoy. As McAvoy now goes from the middle of the field over to the left side. As he does, he pays the price for it, as he's hit out there by Caldwell, along with number 9 for the Belfast Lions, and of course that being John Walsh. So here we go, Brewer, 1st and 10.
I think this is the biggest defensive series of the game thus far for Belfast. As I mean, if they can stop Brewer 3 and out right here, that seed that they planted to open up the half, almost effortlessly going down to score, is, you know, it's fully grown. Then as Brewer says, well, oh geez, here they come, and so Belfast needs to stop them defensively here.
Ricky Porter calling signals, double setback. As we've got a loose ball, Porter able to pull it back in.
And, you know, you can almost, I hate to keep saying this, but you can almost feel the momentum as a fumble that time by Brewer. It's just one big play away from this being a totally different ball game.
A loss of 2 on the play, so give them 2nd and 12. 6:24 left to go in the third quarter. 26-12, Brewer out in front. As Ricky Porter calls signals for the Brewer Witches. Double setback with a slot to the right side. As Porter will roll to the right, he'll pitch back to number 21, Kevin McAvoy, as McAvoy brings it up close to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play. So 3rd and 4. Nice little option play that time by the Brewer Witches.
It was great. They run that play very well. And McAvoy he's very good at knowing when to pitch that ball, or Porter, excuse me, is very good at knowing when to pitch that ball away right at the last second, so they can maximize the yardage.
Tremelli into the ball game now for the Witches. He'll split wide to the right side, and going wide over on the left side.
Watch that quick hitter right here.
Will be Francis, and Littlefield, the lone setback. As the rollout will go to the left side, as Porter will take it into first down territory, bring it into the Belfast end of the field. Following his blocking, brings it to the Belfast 47-yard line. So another 1st and 10 for Brewer. And leaving the lineup limping a little bit is Ricky Porter.
And that would be, wow, that'd be a big, big loss for this Brewer football team.
So coming in to do the quarterbacking, Mitch Peasley.
So watch right here. What you want to watch is the center to quarterback delivery this time, as you've got a center not used to the quarterback not used to the center.
So Peasley now in quarterbacking for Brewer, as Porter went out limping. As the handoff again goes to Littlefield. He blasts across the 40, gets it down close to the 35. We're going to call it the 36. It's going to be close to another Brewer 1st and 10.
They're going to have it, I believe.
And all of a sudden, just that quickly, Brewer seems to be regaining just a little bit of confidence.
This defense has got to tighten up here. They cannot allow a Brewer touchdown, or it's really, I mean, all the things we've been saying about Belfast isn't out of it yet. A Brewer score really puts a damper on that.
As Greg Holm out of the ball game, as his ankle appears to be bothering him a little bit. Wide split to the right side, wishbone formation. Peasley calling signals, handoff to number 17 as he blasts over the right side. Picks up some good yardage. Conwell. So Ben Conwell into the lineup now for Brewer.
It's been that same play the last 3 plays for Brewer.
4:50 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. As Brewer now comes out, wishbone formation split wide to the right side. As the handoff immediately goes to Codwell, another big running ball player for Brewer, as he'll blast down to the 20-yard line. Going to be enough for the Brewer 1st and 10 as Nick Thoman comes into that defense and Scott Hopkins will leave. 4:29 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
What Belfast needs to find is they need to find a big hitter in the linebacking core. Something Belfast has always had, some kind of big hitter up in the middle. Because right now there's so many arm tackles going on and nobody putting a pop on that runner that the runner's simply running through all the tackles.
And Peasley will roll to the left side, being chased out there by Gallant. Gallant able to catch up with him from behind and put him down. As Peasley gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage. Sounds like the band is on the way back. So make it 2nd, and we're going to call it 10 to go for the Brewer Witches. 3:48 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And you know, Brewer, again, they've got to be content with just running the clock down.
They really do. I mean, if they keep getting 1st downs, I mean, even if they don't score, if they keep having these long drives, Belfast will simply run out of time.
Absolutely. As the handoff goes to Codwell, again, Big Ben gets maybe a yard, and that's about it. As he's brought down by Thoman, with some help in there by Bouchard.
You know what I'm seeing from the first time, for the first time dating back to the beginning of the York football game, is this Belfast team getting excited over a tackle like that. That time you saw Thoman get up and he was pumped. He went over, he gave a headbutt to Thoman. I mean, it's good to see this team get enthusiastic and get into it. They know this game is very critical to whether they get home field advantage in the playoffs and whether they make the playoffs.
Okay, here we go. Peasley calling signals, wishbone formation. Brewer may have had an unbalance to the right side, as again, it's right up the middle. And I think Brewer right now, Ben, if they can just eat away a lot of the clock, they're content to keep the ball on the ground.
They are. I mean, they've got a 4th down, a big 4th down now in about 3. I'd watch for that either the off-tackle play or that pop play right up the middle. That both plays have been very successful against the Belfast defense. A huge 4th down play for Belfast.
Coming in is Drew Francis into that offensive alignment. 4th and 3 yards to go for the Brewer Witches. If Belfast can hold here, at least that gives them the opportunity to take it back down the other way.
It really does. It's as good as a punt. I mean, you're deep in your own territory, but you've got the ball, and you can keep running. Brewer's taking a timeout, and Belfast is going to be able to talk it over.
As now Peasley over to talk with head coach Ortego. This number, 342-4346, puts you in touch with Topman's Enterprises of Sears Mott. Topman's can be your best friend when you need to tow your vehicle. 342-4346. Write it down and post it in your vehicle. Topman's Enterprises, your professional towing company on the New England Road in Sears Mott with reasonable rates always. 2:18 left to go here in the 3rd quarter, 26-12. Brewer with the lead. I'll remind you, you're watching schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Well, Ben, here we go. 4th down, 3 yards to go. Coach Ortego gone through a couple of options. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I think you really have to watch for that off-tackle play they've run successfully on this drive right here, and you have to watch for that quick hit up the middle. But I think I'd look more for the off-tackle play because I think Belfast is really going to gang up in that middle.
Well, Littlefield has not played much here, but the other big kid, number 17, Ben Conwell, has been the effective fullback.
Ricky Adams in at quarterback.
As the handoff again goes in the middle, and it looks like Brewer may have come up with that 1st and 10.
They did that quick hit up the middle again. I mean, Belfast cannot seem to find a way to stop it.
And Caldwell, number 17, was the fullback that took it into that 1st and 10 territory. As they spot the ball down close to the 6-yard line.
And now Belfast is in a lot of trouble right now as they're Brewer right down near the 5-yard line, and they're ready to punch it in again. Belfast they've got to make a stand right here. This is the ball game.
As Ben said, in doing the quarterbacking back is Ricky Porter. As we've got a fumble on the play, Porter able to fall back on the ball. Sometimes you go out, you get that ankle taped, and that's just enough support. That's all you need.
Yeah, yep. It's amazing what the tape will do for your ankle. You walk up to the thing, there's no way I can go back out there. They tape it up, and you barely even feel it. I mean, it's still sore. Don't get me wrong.
Roberts out of the ball game along with Travis Lee, and Dan Johnson and Hopkins into that lineup for Belfast as they go into the goal line mode. Wishbone formation. Porter calling signals for the Brewer Witches. As the handoff again goes to a big Caldwell, as he blasts forward, gets close to the 1-yard line, is not across the end zone. 1:08 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The nose of that ball so close.
It is, and Belfast, they've yet to, if I'm Brewer, I go right back to that play right up the middle. Belfast has yet to stop that for any less than a 5-6 yard gain, and at this point that's a touchdown for Brewer, so I'd go right back to that play.
As here we go, Porter in to call the signals for Brewer, 43 seconds left on the clock. As Ricky Porter calling signals for the Brewer Witches. As the handoff goes to Big Ben Caldwell, he's in, touchdown! Touchdown, Brewer!
And again, right up the middle, just like they've done all game successfully, in for the touchdown. And Belfast is in a tough spot right now.
31 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter, 32-12. As Tolman comes out of the ball game, Brewer now, do they go for the 2, or are they going to settle for the PAT?
Well, I mean, a 2-pointer will put you up by 24 points. That's 3 touchdowns, 3 extra points. I mean, 3 2-point conversions. So I think right now, 22 points. I think you go for 2 right here because a 1 isn't necessarily going to help you.
So Porter gets the play as coming in is Studi from the bench. As Porter will now pitch back to pass in the end zone. It falls incomplete. Was Kevin McAvoy. Fell incomplete. So with 31 seconds left on the clock, the score, Brewer 32, Belfast 12. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. 31 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Brewer Witches have opened up a 32-12 lead as they get set to put it away to the Belfast Lions. As Kevin McAvoy will do the honors. Horn back there along with Alders. McAvoy puts his foot into the football. He'll pooch it again. As it will come down to Alders, he mishandles it. Now picks it up at the 15, down to the 20, down to the 25, breaks away, down to the 30, down to the 35. So that's where Belfast will put it into play at the 35-yard line.
What an effort that time by Alders as already the blocks were starting to give way as he was trying to pick the ball up that time. Broke 3 or 4 tackles, 3 or 4 tough tackles he broke to get it up to the 35-yard line. A great effort.
Okay, Wayland comes into that Belfast lineup. 22 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
You've got to have a quick hit if you're Belfast right here. You've got to put it in the end zone very quickly.
Here we go. Short I formation, split wide to the left side. Wayland on the reverse pivot. Will pitch it off to Alders. Alders at the 40, down to the 45. Hops a man, gets it to midfield and is driven out of bounds as they stop the clock. So that gives Belfast a 1st and 10. Hopefully what you want to do is get it into that end zone as quick as you can.
Oh, you really do. And I mean, if if they could punch it in very quickly and get a quick stop from Brewer, what they can't have is Brewer having a long drive. Whether they score or not, they cannot allow Brewer to get 2-3 first downs each time they have the ball.
Matt Wilson, big kid in for Brewer as they go back to that 6-2. Whalen calls signals, reverse pivot handoff to Horn. Horn got one man to beat, gets it into the Brewer 40 down to the 36-yard line.
Belfast in a little bit of a hurry up here. They want to get in as many plays as they can as the clock will stop till those chains move, and they want to make sure they get this last play in before the third quarter ends.
As Whalen at quarterback, Brewer continues with that 6-2. As the clock will now start, it goes to Horn. He falls forward to the 30-yard line. As time runs out, that's going to do it here in the third quarter of action. The score, the Brewer Witches 32, the Belfast Lions 12. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5.
Eastside Garage, from towing to repairs and from front-end alignments to air conditioning. Eastside Garage is a full-service garage with ASE certified mechanics and AAA towing. Eastside Garage, serving the Belfast area for over 30 years. Belfast is a home of Coburn Shoe Store, the oldest shoe store in America. This family-run store offers its customers excellent pricing as well as personal friendly service. They carry such respected lines as Nike, Hush Puppies, Birkenstock, and Red Wing work boots. And there's a bargain basement for added savings. Coburn Shoe Store, 79 Main Street in Belfast. Atlantic Insurance and Benefits is a locally owned agency offering insurance for the home, small business, auto, life, and health for individuals and groups. They are located at 58 High Street in Belfast.
Football left. Brewer with a 32-12 lead. Belfast hoping to put it into the end zone just as quick as they can, Ben. And hey, if they can get that ball into the end zone very quickly here, good things could happen.
They could. What they need to do, if they punch the ball in here, they need to force some kind of turnover. So at the very least, make it a 3-and-out, but even better, force some kind of turnover so you've got good field position. Handoff
goes to Alders as he blasts forward to the 25-yard line. It's going to be close to another Belfast 1st and 10.
I think with forward momentum, he should have it here, unless they're going to give, wow, they're going to give him an awful spot. Wow.
I just cannot believe
They
this.
pushed that back almost 2 yards from where his forward progress was stopped. That's unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
3rd down and inches for the Lions. Short I formation. Split wide to the right side is Littlefield. Whalen calls signals. Handoff goes to Alders. He'll get the first down as he's tripped up in there. Getting a fist up, and on the leg is Matt Wilson. Or Alders could have gone a lot more. But it's going to be enough for the Belfast 1st and 10.
I don't like to get on the officials a lot because they've got a tough job. People make mistakes, but tonight I really feel as though we've seen a poorly officiated ball game tonight. We've seen one big play after another that has just been it's been nullified or just hasn't happened because of some kind of officiated mistake.
Handoff goes to Alders, and he's caught in the backfield as coming across with excellent penetration. Ted Sylvian, the senior captain, able to penetrate into that backfield.
Alders fumbled at that time. He coughed the ball up. Brewer recovered, and that's the nail in the coffin right there. I don't know if Belfast can come back.
Well, that's hard to say as Belfast turns it over. Derek Webster into the ball game for the Lions. Just adding to the woes of the Lions, and I'm sure Brewer going to be content to try to keep the ball on the ground here.
Yeah.
And to run as much of that clock off as they can.
That's really what they want to do. Belfast, when you're going for the tackle, you want to try to strip that ball away, put a helmet on it, something, force some kind of turnover so you can get this ball back.
Wishbone formation as Porter will call signals for Brewer. Handoff going to that first back through, being the big fullback. Gets 5 on the play. Stop made by a host of Belfast tacklers. As Johnson back into the ball game. Dan with that broken finger, but hey, doing the best he can with that big cast on that. 2nd down, we'll call it 4 to go for the Lions, for the Witches. Already I'm trying to give Belfast the ball back. Home crowd announcer, yes indeed. 10:18 left to go in this football game. Brewer with that 32-12 lead. Wishbone formation in tight on the left side. As the handoff goes to guess who, the big fullback, blasts up to the 45-yard line, Caldwell. Well, if it isn't Littlefield, it's Caldwell. I would think by now this young man's got quite a bit of yardage on the books.
He does, and I mean, that the Belfast center, that defense on the interior line has just been, you know, they've been taking advantage of tonight. I mean, you can't place all the blame on it. It's one of those plays that's so tough to stop, like we talked about. It's tough to recognize that who has the ball, but I mean, in terms of assignments, you've got to make sure you get your assignments done, and those should stop that play up the middle.
Ricky Porter back into the ball game for Brewer. Wishbone formation. As the handoff again goes to the big fullback. Blast forward for another 2 yards as Totman and Bowman will come into that defensive lineup. Hey, Dutch Chevrolet is a third-generation family-owned business. At Dutch Chevrolet, doing business the right way is not just a slogan, but a way of life. Our new and used car lots are conveniently located, so you can see the hundreds of vehicles we have to show you at your convenience. Dutch Chevrolet, routes 1 and 3 in Belfast, doing business the right way, always. As Brewer now comes out, wishbone formation split wide to the right side. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Witches. As the handoff is fumbled back at the 40-yard line, Porter able to fall on the ball. So a loss of about 7 on the play. Coach Ortego cannot be happy for sure, but not quite as crucial as it would have been the other way.
Yeah, I mean, something like that, you just, as long as you recover the ball again, you just say, okay, let's run this next play, run a little bit more time off. We're up by 20 points, not a big deal.
Third down, 16 yards to go now for the Brewer Witches as they spot the ball right at the 40-yard line. As they'll split wide to the right side, safe formation as the last play. Ricky Porter calling signals for the Witches. As the handoff goes to McAvoy, blasts over the right side. McAvoy gets it down to the 45. Going to be way shy of the first down. As we've got a Belfast ball player getting up slow. Looks like Greg Holm. But he's up, I guess he's okay. So Brewer will come in and punt it away. What's this, only the second time tonight they've punted?
It is, and you know what you need from Belfast right now is you need one of those big returns that we keep talking about.
Kevin McAvoy in to punt it away for the Witches. And let's see, Aldous and Horn back to receive it for the Lions. As the snap will come back, high snap, McAvoy able to get his foot into the ball, nice spiraling kick. Goes flat. This one is going to take a Brewer bounce, and they're going to blow it dead right around the 6-yard line. So a good break for Brewer. Puts Belfast in another deep hole here.
Beautiful, beautiful punt that time by Brewer. You know, I think that would have rolled right down to about the 1-yard line. I don't know why they dove on it there, but you know, better there than in the end zone. But a great punt.
Consumers Fuel has been serving the Belfast area since 1911 with quality heating oil, gas, and propane. Stay warm this winter and the winters to come with Consumers Fuel. Reasonable and rates and payment plans you can afford. Consumers Fuel, working hard to keep your business. Consumers Fuel, 338-2000, located at 12 Main Street in Belfast. And thank you very much to John and Ralph and Barry and all the folks at Consumers Fuel. Out come the Lions with 7:03 left to go in the ball game, trailing 32-12 in the ball game. Whalen calling signals. He's back to pass. Got to do what he's got to do. He's going to be brought down in the end zone. I don't see any call made.
That should be intentional grounding that time by Whalen. He was just trying to get rid of it to avoid the safety. That should be 2 points for Brewer because I didn't see any receiver around where he threw the ball. So a break for Belfast that time. think backed up against your own end zone right here, you've got to run some kind of, just give it to Aldous, let him get 4 or 5 yards on the run, and then you've got room to run your passing game.
As Coach Ortega is out there, I don't see any points on the board as yet. So they didn't call anything. They'll spot the ball back at the 6-yard line. So no call was made, 6:45, just an incomplete pass. So 2nd and 10 for the Lions. Reverse pivot, handoff will go to Horn. He skips a man or two, gets it up to the 12-yard line. As the clock continues to run. Certainly now a friend to the Brewer Witches. So give Belfast a 3rd, and we'll call it 5. 3rd and 5 for the Brewer Witches. As we've got 6:22 left to go in this football game. As Belfast, I'm sure, would at least like to get it down the field and get something in that end zone. Whalen now will drop back to pass. He's under a heavy rush from behind. Andrew will take off. He gets it down to the 15-yard line, and he's nailed out of bounds. Andrew, a tough kid.
It's going to be very, very close to that first down marker, and it's going to be a tough call for the coaching staff. I mean, you kind of have to go for it, but if you don't, they got the ball on the 15-yard line.
And the one, Matt Wilson, that nailed him out of bounds was the one that got up slow. So coming into the ball game, it looks like either Jared Forrest or Derek Coleman. I think it's Forrest into the ball game now for Brewer.
Belfast looks like they're going to go for it. They need about a yard, maybe a little bit less, but it looks like about a yard.
I think at this point you have to.
Yeah.
Into the ball game was Jared Forrest. As Whalen calls signals, reverse pivot goes to Horn. He's got to dig and dig. And I think it all depends on the spot of the ball.
Again, forward progress, he should have gotten the first down. He got far enough for the first down. Whether or not they'll give it to him is another story.
5:59, they did. 1st and 10 for the Belfast Lions. 5:59 left to go in this football game. And it has been a long homecoming game, to say the least. 32-12, Brewer on the move. Belfast on the move, I should say. Brewer in the lead. Short I formation, wing to the right side. As the handoff goes to Aldous, looking for an opening, finds a crease in there, takes off, gets maybe 3 yards. Stop made by Peasley. So give Belfast a pickup. We're going to call it 5 on the play. So picks up those yards very, very deceivingly as the clock now has been started. Littlefield split wide to the right side, and most of this homecoming crowd is stuck around here, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see, you know, supporting them. They're down by 20 points. They're in a tough spot right now, but you stick around. You hope they can put something together.
As Whalen saw the intended receiver out there was Nate Littlefield right around the 35-yard line. I believe it was tipped by a Brewer Witch down there, so it falls incomplete. So Belfast now 3rd and 5. As Littlefield gets the play. So out come the Lions. As Brewer now will jump in that. This time it looks like the 6-2. 6-2 defense for the Brewer Witches. Short I formation for Belfast. As Whalen now back to pass under a rush. He gets away from that. Ball again, pooched by Brewer. Intercepted by the Witches. Ball intercepted by Brewer. As they'll spot it close to the 20-yard line. And certainly that should do it for the Brewer Witches, as now many of these Belfast fans get up and will leave the stadium here tonight.
Yep, all that Brewer has to do now is just run that clock, get a couple first downs.
As Jeff Fry's having to leave the football game. You certainly hope that in this situation that nothing happened like being thrown out of a ball game or something like that. because you not only leave this one, you're also out of a next ball game as well.
Yeah, I think it looks like he might just be a little bit shaken up, maybe an ankle or a knee. You hope it's not. Hope it's not serious.
Played a super ball game here tonight for sure. As the handoff goes to number 38, Matt Littlefield, back into the ball game. Also, Ricky Adams is in doing the quarterbacking for the Brewer Witches. 4:32 left to go in this football game. Homecoming 2004 just about ready to come to a close. And we'd like to thank the folks at the Camden National Bank in the downtown shopping plaza in Belfast and Penobscot Macrum on Front Street in Belfast. Camden National Bank and Penobscot Macrum, two of our football 2004 supporters. Thank you very much to them. As Adams calls the signals for the Brewer Witches, as the pitch goes back to McAvoy, gets to the outside. He's drilled out of bounds by Horn, but not before he picks up 3 on the play, and that will again stop the clock.
If you're Coach Ortega right now, you tell him, do not get anywhere near that sideline. Just let it run.
We want that baby to keep running as they now restart the clock.
They don't need the extra yardage. They need the extra couple minutes to come off.
3:46 left to go in this football game. As of now, they'll split wide to the right side. Lone setback is again Matty Littlefield. Adams calls signals, wing left and right. As McAvoy goes in motion, handoff will come back right to left. As one man to beat, still on his feet, and he's still going down close to the goal line. Is Zach Wilson showing some power running in there.
Chad Sylvan with an excellent block that time as he put the Belfast defender right on his butt to spring. I'm sorry.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Sorry, they run so many of them. I get them confused sometimes.
As they'll restart the clock, and Brewer again is down close to the Belfast goal line. As Adams will continue to call the signals for the Brewer Witches. 3:06 left to go in this football game. Adams calls signals as the handoff goes over the left side. He's in, touchdown! He's in, touchdown. Zach Wilson puts another 6 points on the board for the Brewer Witches. Again, thank you very much to Parento's Floor Covering on East Main Street in Searsport and KSW Federal Credit Union on Waldo Avenue in Belfast. So to Parento's Floor Covering and KSW Federal Credit Union, thank you very much for your support of schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Well, Ben, I think it's safe to say that Brewer's going to go out of here with a victory here tonight.
I think so, and I think tonight was that we could very well see a Brewer team entering the playoffs undefeated. As I mean, after this game, they really are not tested until Leavitt on the 22nd. They go to Lake Region, or they play Lake Region at home, excuse me, then they go to MDI, both games they should win, and then the big one is going to be Leavitt at home on the 22nd. After that, they travel to Winslow, but I really think this Brewer team can beat that Winslow team. That Leavitt is the question mark for them. So, I mean, if you're Belfast right now, you've got to make sure you go to Winslow next week and take care of business.
2:51 left to go in this football game. Brewer 38, Belfast 12. You're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5.
Good luck to our home team, the Belfast Lions, from Matthews Brothers, your hometown source for millwork products for nearly 150 years. Our quality Acadia and Alliance windows are built here in our Belfast plant to withstand the rigors of New England weather. They can be seen in our custom showrooms in Belfast, Rockland, and Bangor. Matthews Brothers, looking ahead for 150 years.
Belfast Auto Supply is your locally owned Napa store. We've been in business for over 20 years, and our staff has 30 years of experience in the auto parts industry. Open 7 days a week, Belfast Auto Supply is a complete auto parts store, offering everything from parts to paint to a full machine shop. We're located at 201 Northport Avenue.
Dr. Michael Martin, keeping an eye on your eyes. With offices in both Belfast and Rockport, Dr. Martin has been in practice for over 27 years. From eye exams and complete eye care to their on-premise lab and complete professional staff to take care of your eyewear needs, Dr. Martin and his office staff are there to serve you. The Maine Chowder and Steakhouse offers a breathtaking view of Penobscot Bay, as well as a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere and delicious food with great service. They have been recognized by the Gourmet Society of North America with its Golden Fork Award. The Maine Chowder and Steakhouse, Route 1 Belfast. The Yankee Trader Gift Shop offers something for everyone. With their wonderful assortment of eclectic gifts from Maine and beyond, the delicious homemade fudge is shipped worldwide, and new items are arriving daily for your fall and Christmas gift shopping. Open year-round, it's the all-new Yankee Trader Gift Shop, located next to the Comfort Inn in Belfast.
In this football game, Brewer 38-12 over the Belfast Lions. Back in Lawn and Alders, and Brewer ready to put it into play, as getting a good foot into the football was William Passy, now into a kick for Brewer, as it will go down over the left side, and Belfast will open up 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. As the Belfast JVs will come in and to get some playing time. As the first team will sit down and the JVs will come in. As Matt Carr will come in at quarterback for Belfast.
You know, this is one of those things where at the same time, while you want to get your second string experience, you kind of almost don't want to get any of your first stringers injured. So that might be one of the reasons for the move here, because the ball game is essentially over. So, you know, get your first stringers out of there, let them play next week.
Carr will pitch back to his tailback, who goes absolutely nowhere. As Brewer leaves those first stringers in, and Zach Wilson puts a stop on the Belfast ball carrier. As the clock remains running with 2:26 left to go in this football game. As now the Brewer JVs come into the ball game. As Matt Carr continues to quarterback for Belfast. As Matt Carr does the quarterbacking for the Belfast Lions. Short eye formation, wing to the right side. 2 minutes left to go in this football game. Handoff will go to that second back as he goes absolutely nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage perhaps. As Ricky Bonoski on the ball carry for Belfast gets maybe a yard, so 3rd down and 14 to go for Belfast with 1:40 left to go in the ball game. Double setback now for Belfast, wing to the right side. Matt Carr continues to call signals for Belfast. As they run that scissor play, goes absolutely nowhere as Brewer getting good penetration onto the inside. So that'll give Belfast a 4th down and 14. Has the ball at the 35-yard line. With 1:05 left to go in the football game, Belfast presented with a 4th down. As Carr now gets the play from the bench. Under a minute left to go in this football game.
Thank you.
Pitch goes back to Bonoski. He can't handle it. Now able to pick it up. Trying to run out of trouble. Cannot get out of trouble, and Brewer has held, and they'll get the ball back the final 32 seconds. So the Brewer Witches will take over on downs.
And I think we're just going to see a couple of kneel downs here from Brewer. All they need is one kneel down.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Ben.
It's snowing! That's snow!
So out come the Brewer Witches with more of those JV ball players.
It's dust. I thought it was snow. Sorry!
More of the JV ball players come in to get some playing time for the Brewer Witches. As Coach Ortego takes a timeout. With this timeout, I'll remind you, you're watching Schoolboy Football on Educational Channel 5. Okay, the final 32 seconds about ready to unfold here at Belfast. Adams doing the quarterbacking for Brewer. Snap comes back, handoff goes to number 3, and he blasts forward to the 10-yard line. It'll be enough for the Brewer 1st and 10.
And you know what? That is a terrible, terrible show of running up the score. It's your second string, I realize that, but you're ahead by 26 points and you're running plays with 25 seconds left. Belfast is not going to call a timeout. You kneel the ball down there. That's one of those things that really just gets me upset because you just don't do that.
Kingsbury on the run for Brewer. And now it looks like Belfast is taking a timeout. And Coach Ortega will come out onto the field.
And you would hope this next play is a kneel down to finish the ball game out.
And again, we would like to thank our support sponsors, the KSW Federal Credit Union on Waldo Avenue in Belfast, the Camden National Bank in the downtown shopping plaza in Belfast, Penobscot McCrum on Front Street in Belfast. Thank you very much for your support. And to Parento's Floor Covering on East Main Street in Belfast for their support, bringing to you on Educational Channel 5 schoolboy football for the 2004 season. With 21 seconds remaining, 38-12. I'll remind you, you're watching schoolboy football on Educational Channel 5. Here at the Belfast Area High School with 21 seconds left to go, Adams calling signals for the Brewer Witches. And Adams will kneel down and Belfast will not call a timeout. So Ben, that's pretty much going to do it in this homecoming game 2004.
It is, Belfast. You know what you have to do with a loss like this is last week I thought they should remember it and they should go up from there, but this week, you know, I really think they should just forget about it, go in Monday morning, watch the film, and gear up for Winslow because that's a must-win game at this point with 2 losses here. It's a must-win ball game because, you know, they could be looking at a situation where they may be on the outside looking in come playoff time if they don't win next week, and it's going to be Winslow's homecoming. It's going to be down there, so they've got to gear up for this Winslow team, forget about this loss, and just go ahead with their season.
Regroup, as they say. There's not too much more we can say. So for Ned Leitner and Ben Cowan, this is the Grizzly but Lovable Bear with the final score for the final time. The Brewer Witches 38, the Belfast Lions 12. Good evening, everyone.